This is the Simpit. I'm your host, Shaun Cole, and welcome to tonight's edition of the Pitstop, where you, the pit crew, you are the real star of today's show. And sorry for throwing this at you. I didn't expect a nighttime show. I'm sure you guys didn't expect a nighttime show, and I wasn't even going to be on the air this week, but it has been such a crazy time for me between various trade shows and my trip to London and everything. It's just all been up in the air. So I am still in town this week, which means I'm going to be on the air today, but I couldn't do it this morning because I had so much work to do to prepare for my trip. And then we will be on the air all week, so you can count on there being a pit stop Wednesday morning, hot lap hump day Wednesday night, Beyond the Sim with Billy Strange on Friday, and I have a couple of specials coming to you from E3 showing off Next Level Racing and WRC8 that'll all be happening this week. So yes, WTF, Late Night Sim Pit. I just figured it was time to mix it up a little bit. I had a lot of fun. Billy and I recorded last week's Beyond the Sim Wednesday night at like midnight, and it was crazy. It was a totally different headspace for me because I'm accustomed to being a certain way. I found that things were just a little bit different, and I really liked the way that worked out. So that is why I at this point whoops, let's put that up where it belongs. That is why we're doing this. I just thought it would be kind of for fun. Dave Blair, I'm not sure if we're going to roll this into a Monday Fun Day. Maybe a certain group will do that. I'm going to try to get out and do some Le Mans practice. I'm sorry, the Glen practice. Le Mans was last weekend. The Glen is this coming weekend. So I am going to be in town for it, and on very short notice, I'm going to try to prepare and get up and running. And if you're looking for a Ford Coyote motor, there's only one left at Walmart, says Tim Spatial Dragon. Anyway, so we are here to talk about sim racing, and forgive me because I haven't really been able to go through the news at the caliber level that I'm normally doing it at. So if there's anything you guys think that I should be talking about, anything you think that maybe I would have missed, I wouldn't be surprised if I did because I haven't been home very much. But I just, again, I want to get on the air. I just want to talk sim racing. I feel like it's been forever since we did this together like this. So anyway, special night for me, Monday night. Hope you're enjoying it. I know not all of our regulars can be here, but maybe it opened up the opportunity from some others. But I also did this on very short notice. Maybe in the future, we'll move one of the pit stops to an evening time if it works out for the gang. Always looking for your opinion. Chime in on the chat or send me an email. Shaun, S-H-A-U-N, @thesimpit.com. So what is going on in the world of sim racing? I already mentioned the Glen, 6 hours of the Glen. So endurance racing, I mean, we could argue, is 6 hours an endurance race? I suppose if you're going to run it all alone, I would consider it an endurance race. At the 24-hour Le Mans, I believe I ran 6 hours of driving time. So when I think of a 6-hour race, depending on how you're going to work your team, in our case, I'll be running the Friday night race with Stand On It and Moses Choi, and we will be a 3-man team, so 2 hours apiece, essentially in the car. It'll not round out perfectly like that, but we're going to run the Friday night race because that's when Stan can make it. I don't know if you remember the last time we took the Daytona prototype out, but it was a misery. This is our redemption race, bringing back the Daytona prototype despite a lot of people on the team not ever wanting to see it again. Our GTE team will be running on Saturday, and 4 guys are going to be in on that car. So we should have lots of cool racing streaming. It will be that endurance environment of all seriousness. You'll be hearing the race chat and hearing how we attack the race, all through good and bad and the ugly of it. Yeah, I hear you. It's getting late already, but I just figured I had to mix it up a little bit. What else at iRacing? iRacing posted a picture here, and these are the qualifiers. You know, there's kind of a secret little thing going on. Not everybody's even going to be eligible. Not everybody's even going to go for it. But if you want to take part in the big race at Sim Racing Expo, which, you know, forgive me for my ignorance here, but I thought iRacing wasn't doing Sim Racing Expo. Maybe they're back. I don't know. But what we are looking at, this was posted by Sebastian Job. What an insane battle for P1 with Patrick Holzman and J.K. Rogers for the Sim Racing Expo qualifiers. This was tweeted and posted by iRacing, and this is why I'm a little bit confused. If they had told me this was a different sim, I would totally understand. Anyway, Joshua Rogers right now with the leading lap time and rank. Sebastian Job in second and Patrick Holzman in third. Beneke in fourth. Wow. Okay, look at that. What else? Assetto Corsa. So ACC, you know, you can say what you want. You've experienced it yourself. You run in the public events and things like that. You've dealt with the leaderboard or the penalty or point system that is in there. But now we're talking about league racing, actual vision. I mean, if you know the eSports scene, or at least the online league / gaming competition scene, Actual Vision's name has been synonymous with Project Cars, and now they've branched out, and this week is the first round of the AC Assetto Corsa Competizione Leagues. These guys are pretty relentless, so when you might see like an F1 2018 come, and then it's the off season, Actual Vision seems to always be going on. But 1 hour practice, 30-minute qualifying, 1 hour race, 8-time time progression. One of the first times I can admit that I've seen time progression used in a real competitive nature. Be cool to see how that plays out. Does my Alienware mug have quotes? I'm not sure what the quotes are. I love the old C7 Daytona prototype. It's one of my favorite cars in iRacing to drive. Brad Morrison says, still waiting for ACC to fix the career bugs, unless one of the recent hot fixes did that. I thought one of them fixed, or, it eliminated the ability to save midway since it wasn't working anyway. So I'm not sure if that's going to move forward or not, or when that will be resolved. What else? Le Mans was last weekend, and I know a lot of you watched it. Oh, does it have eyes? Can you see my RGB? It's an RGB. It's kind of hard to see in the lighting here. Do I need to turn off the lights real quick? Do we need to get spooky? That is my new Alienware RGB cup. All right, so on with the news. Last weekend was Le Mans. Le Mans. Do I have to disclaim that? I think I actually say that one's fairly correctly. I might not even upset French people with the way I say Le Mans. At Le Mans was craziness this weekend. So a lot of you watched it. We talked about it in our chat. It was certainly the talk of the town. Dr. Demonetized. Yes, I am thinking about making a new sim racing show and persona, like another channel, and it's totally blatantly me, but I'll put on a wig and glasses and be Dr. Demonetized, the crazy sim racer. Alien Con in LA. I'd like to go to that, actually. Nope, it's my new cup. This came to me from Brandon Prescott, who works for Alienware and is a big fan of the show. And I talked to Brandon, and I don't know if he'll get a chance to see this. And if he does, he'll be shy and not say anything in the chat. He's probably sitting in his car if he's watching this. Hello, Brandon. It was really cool hanging out with you all of E3, and I hope you had as much fun as I did. Anyway, Rfactor 2 has come out with Le Mans. And this is a big deal because what we've talked about Rfactor, and where we've really been watching Rfactor, is the expansion of content that has come out in the last 18 months at this point. I think we've really seen an accelerated curve over about the last 18 months. Le Mans is a monster of a track when you think about having to build a track. This is one of the biggest, longest tracks with a lot of iconic features that need to be drawn or implemented into the track for it to be a usable track, to have the accolades that this track is getting. So now I have not driven it yet, but I've heard from about 5 or 6 people who sent me messages saying, you gotta try the Rfactor 2 Le Mans. So that is good news to me when people start talking about it, even before I get a chance to drive it. Always makes me excited. And I think, again, maybe towards the end of this year, maybe at the very beginning of 2020, are we going to be saying the year of Rfactor 2? Is that the point where you're going to have enough content, enough cohesion amongst the content, where leagues are really going to start multiplying based on the ability of what they can do to race with it? So I'm very optimistic about the future. Yeah, Ford got disqualified. I read that today. Fuel capacity violation. I heard that a truck race was reversed because of cheating. I didn't get a chance to really check out the hypercars as much as I want. I heard about them. I knew it was going on. I agree. You know, it would be great. You know, the hypercar class is like the class that they could almost battle by marquees nowadays, which is sort of gone from racing the way it used to be. Everything's become so homogenized. But it would be really cool to see something where it really was back to the days of open competition like Formula One used to be to an extent. So, yeah. Jerry, the UI. The UI. Man, Jerry nailed it on the head when it comes to talking about Rfactor 2. Incredible sim. Lots of content without spending a fortune in getting it. And in the end, it's the UI that makes it so difficult to navigate, so difficult to load and know what content you're doing, so difficult just to find and get the racing and get on the track. And it's like, bam, if they did it, it would cure so many problems. I mean, you think about the way Rfactor operates compared to any other sim you'd get, and it's totally unique and not in a good way. And they have to know this, so it's time to copy. It's time to emulate. You know, the best form of flattery is through copying, right? So copy away. Help it out. Help us out. Anyway, you can see Le Mans looks really nice. Great to see more and more coming out of Rfactor. Our shot of the day was the two cars going down the track side by side. Iconic to multi-class racing is Le Mans as well, which is really cool. And then just to give you a perspective, Le Mans at night, and if you've not done it yourself, it is one of the darkest tracks that you're ever going to drive on. It can be downright scary, and until you learn certain things, it can be almost impossible to drive because of the speeds and the braking zones. So, yeah, trying to set up a server, but I'd make that argument for almost every sim out there. Hello, Lionheart Racing Series, how you doing? Nords, yes, Nords could be worse for sure, Stan. Dirt Rally, talking about, not a lot to say on it, but they do talk about Season 2, Stage 1. So Season 2 is upon us. If I'm not mistaken, Season 2 means that if you bought the Season Pass, are we to the end of that? Are we now to the point where you needed some sort of an Ultimate Edition? Anyway, they have a full write-up on everything that's come out with it. This came out June 14th. Version 1.5, talking about some of the updates and things that have gone on, including a content not installed error. That would suck. Clubs are here. Missing Community Challenge Award. So a bunch of things that have been, oh, there's the Datsun. Gotta love the Datsun. So they continue to update, and now we have Season 2 upon us for that. F1 2019 is now talking about the future. You know, we're still kind of waiting. It's getting close. Wow. F1 2019 is getting very close, isn't it? Anyway, defeat your rivals and leagues is the video that they put out today. So, implementing some form of leagues, making some of that automated. Some of this I think was actually recorded at E3. I heard they were at E3 because this guy was being interviewed, and I'm like, wait, no, they're not at E3. I'm at E3. They're not at E3. Don't know if they just did some kind of a special interview, but they definitely didn't have a booth. But anyway, showing off being able to create a league within F1 2019, that could be great for some people who are looking forward to that title and more things. So that just came out today. If you want to check it out, you'll find it at YouTube under the F1 Games by or from Codemasters. Steam ran a sale on it. Just bought 18. Yep. Oh, all the Codemasters stuff was on massive sale. So I'm glad you took care of that. What else? Billy and I talked about the Forza Lego, and it's kind of made me laugh how much this topic has created a stir in the sim racing world. And some of it good, some of it bad. I just, I think Billy and I best chalked it up to, if you want it, get it. If you don't, don't. Is it really that big a deal? But in this week's community guide, I should call it the Forza Weekend Review for the week, they do talk about Forza and Lego taking the stage. Now, what they're talking about is at E3. So if you've never been or followed E3, E3 is one of the biggest trade shows on planet Earth. It's the Electronic Expo, Arts Expo, I don't know. Anyway, it takes up usually 3 of the big convention halls at LA Convention Center, which is a very big convention center. This year they only had 2. And part of that being that Sony or PlayStation was not there. And there's speculation as to why. There's speculation as to when they might be back. The other notable, not at E3, was Microsoft / Forza / Xbox. Now, what they've done, and this is becoming a little more cool, and you got to kind of think of the politics of the why. Why would they do this? But directly across the street, essentially, was a whole place that was just Xbox. So they weren't E3, but they were E3. They were making presentations the day before E3, almost taking the wind out of the sails of certain things. That's where we saw the announcement of Project Scarlet. It's also where this article is talking about Forza and Lego taking the stage. That's where their presentation was made. If you saw any pictures of that full-on Lego, do I have one? Here it is. The giant Lego McLaren. It was there. There's Dan Grenewalt. You weren't going to find him at E3, but you were going to find him at the Forza presentation. Here's Alan Hartman, second in command there. Weren't going to find him at E3, but you were going to find him across the street at the Microsoft special exhibit. So that is kind of the theme of what E3 is doing. And, you know, part of what I want to talk about on E3 today, because, again, I am going to do a piece on what I saw on WRC3. I'm also going to do a piece on Next Level Racing, what they are presenting. Those are the only two sim companies really at E3. So from our perspective, E3 is a bust. However, E3 is a monster. E3 is so big, it's almost so big that they cannot fail no matter how bad they do with the event. Now, I'm not trying to say they did bad with the event. There are things that could definitely be better. But what I'm now seeing are lines that are worse than going to Magic Mountain or an amusement park waiting for a brand new roller coaster. You're talking 2.5 hour lines to play what is like a 30-second demo. And I wonder how long that recipe lasts. I saw other situations where there's an hour-long line to watch someone else play the demo. People were there to take pictures with characters. It is not the trade show that it used to be. So if I'm Sony, and I'm wondering about the millions, and I'm not joking, millions, tens of millions of dollars that it would take for them to build their booth, transport their booth, rent the space, man the booth, put all those people up in hotels and travel them. What bang for the buck are they getting in the new environment? And the new environment is part of the atmosphere of 2019. I'm not, and really thinking about it, I can only point the finger at E3 so much. I talk about it on the show all the time. We talked about it with Billy about the reviewing process and how that's changed, and the control by the industry and how that's changed. And is there a need for a trade show the way it has always been, so to speak? I don't know. I'm sure these are factors on why Sony and Microsoft are making changes. Now, rumor is Microsoft should be there next year, and I say the word should because this is rumors because of Project Scarlet, and they're saying seasonal time 2020 for that console. So that would be about the right timing, maybe even a little late, actually. I mean, too late to make an announcement. You could be featuring it and showing it off and getting sales. So we might see next year be a completely different E3. Let me come back to the news since I've pretty much exhausted my E3 topic. I did bring up I did take some photos while I was there. So why don't this is the line of people trying to get in. These are the gamers trying to get in. That's just one entrance. That's the Pokemon booth, which Nintendo took up an entire city block. As big as what you'd expect. Look at all these people. Those are the lines. Those are the queues for the lines to play various different games. Like Zelda. The new Zelda had a 2.5. These are the dioramas. I talked about people waiting in an hour-long line to get up there and take a picture of Lone Echo. There's another entrance waiting to go in before the show started. Crazy. Oh, I didn't get all my pictures in here. I totally screwed up my E3 slideshow. Damn it. Damn it, Cole. I hate when I do that. I had some great pictures of other things at E3. Give me 1 second. Let me see if I can make a correction here. Let's see here. It looks like it only got that first row, perhaps. Let's see if we can fix this real quick. So yeah, E3, it is evolving. You know, we talk about Smooth. Thank you so much, buddy. We talk about our industry. We talk about the gaming industry and the changes that are happening. You could talk about DLC. You could talk about pre-orders and that whole thing. You could talk about the controlled media and the amount of careful in the pick folder, very funny day. Yeah, now I got them all playing. There we go. I think there's Lone Echo Diorama. And our industry, I have to wait through all the beginning ones. If I screwed this up again, I'm going to be very upset with myself. Come on. I screwed it up. It still didn't work. Forget the slideshow then. We can do it the old-fashioned way. I could bring up... Bear with me, you guys. Sorry. Now, what if I go right here? Put that like this. And can I cycle? Yeah, here we go. So there, these are these dioramas. This is the Oculus booth. And there weren't people waiting hours in line to play Oculus games. There were people waiting hours in line to take a picture with the goofy monster. Look at the two guys. They're all excited, getting their picture taken. This was going on everywhere. Super giant Sega Genesis. How many of you played the Genesis controller? It was actually working. These two had to play together. That was a father and son playing this Street Fighter type game. That is Brandon Prescott right there. And, oh, I'm sorry, what? Hold on. Whoops. I can't remember his name. Oh, his things turned around. Another fan of the show right here from Trinidad. Antonio? I can't, forgive me for not remembering. Whoops. Pictures, we want pictures. That's at the Big Ben booth. Oh, there's John Hill. He's at E3. Mark Pogson. Yes, it was great meeting you. Do I have a picture of us? We had a picture taken, didn't we? Anyway, I'm just showing you off some of the stuff and what it looked like. Some of these were done. This was another one of those dioramas where you could take a picture. Mark, not Antonio. There you go. Mark, cheers to you, buddy. It was really cool. Me, Mark, and Brandon talked for, I don't know, 3 hours? 3 hours time? We had a great time talking Sims, talking racing, and all that. John Hill was there. Lots more. There's the Cyberpunk booth. See the line? See the line? We don't see either end of the line. Yes, he is, Shaun, and we talked about you. This is the Dragon Ball Z line. The story of E3, the lines. Lines everywhere. There's the Doom booth. They weren't too mobbed out. Bethesda. We talked about them in the drag racing game they made way back. International Hot Rod Association, I think it was called. The Marvel booth. Anyway, I mean, the biggest thing for me with E3 is the eye candy. It's like, wow, look at what is going on at this place. It is totally crazy. Gravedigger was there as well. And then here's the sad story. I think I mentioned it. As crowded as this place was, look at this. This is Wreckfest. This is right next to Fortnite, where a lot of people are gathered. A lot of people are going on. That's what's going on at Wreckfest. This was the biggest kick in the balls. This was the biggest depressing moment for me in E3. When I finally found this. And that is what goes on. And I think I asked this guy if he knew anything about it. He didn't even know that they had the game. Yeah, Weekfest is right. But that is what Wreckfest looked like. There's John Hill checking out Monster Jam. So this is the other kind of thing. Where's my files? Do I have that on here? Hold on. Here we go. Remember this, John? John Hill, you here? John Hill is with me at this moment in time. They just had game pads for Wreckfest. Can you believe it? It was so sad. Anyway, I'm showing this now because I have no intention of doing a recap. No, I did not dance. Borderlands, more dioramas, Avengers game, and I think is that the end of my pictures? That's enough. We've had enough at E3. So that's what was going on at E3, minus Sony, minus PlayStation, minus Microsoft, minus Xbox, minus Forza in the building, Wreckfest getting no love, Monster Jam doesn't count. We had Next Level, which was very impressive, and I will do a piece on the Next Level racing lineup. Yes, only after a little bit of drinking and my Care Bear outfit. Thank you, Tim. So yeah, but it is a spectacle, and if you've never been, it's Comic-Con meets the gaming industry. And I saw somebody else say cosplay. The fans are really trying to push this into a cosplay convention. More people dressed up than ever before. And yeah, absolutely, Dave. We need our own Sim Expo where we can keep it dry and boring. No, I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding. We need to make it saucy and fun. But we definitely need no Ubisoft. Oh, I'm sure I had a picture of Ubisoft somewhere, Dave. I just might not have played it because I kind of screwed that piece up. Moving on, we spoke about Le Mans. One of the big things about Forza was the Le Mans eSports series going on in conjunction. So, you know, you gotta love these on-site venues. I met with the guy in charge of the NASCAR eSports series. I have his card here. What was his name? Probably shouldn't say it out loud. Brandon. His name was Brandon as well. I've got brain mush. Mark, I will be glad to give you those things. Yeah, no devs on site, Doug. It was horrible. It was a ghost town. We just saw that picture. Anyway, on-site things, and that was one thing I talked to the NASCAR eSport guy, Brendan, about, was the fact that NASCAR Heat is doing it on-site for a few of the events versus iRacing that does not. F1 2018 had always been on-site. All the contestants in a controlled environment gathered there being broadcast. But then when you look at the iRacing and it's the online competition that we has always known, I'm not sure. You know, I think it's a little more exciting when you get them all together and can see the emotions. You know, the Brendan Lay finger wag that will be remembered forever in sim racing. 20 years from now, that'll still make its appearance from time to time in forums and things, I tell you. So anyway, these are the podium right there at Le Mans. That's not a screenshot of a game, and those are not real professional drivers in terms of the real life Le Mans. Those are the Le Mans eSports Series teams on the podium, which, can you imagine the honor of walking on that podium if you're a longtime racing fan? I remember when I went to Daytona and I had some VIP access and I was able to walk onto Victory Lane. And, you know, when nothing's going on there, you could say it's not a big deal. Is it the same? But to me, that's a race I've watched so many times and something so near and dear to my heart, so important to me, that there was this chill up my spine walking into Victory Lane at Daytona. Same thing when I walked on turn 1 of the road course, when I physically walked portions of the track that I've run so many times. You know, I'm still affected by these things. I'm still a gigantic racing fan, and I'm sure these guys are, and I can only imagine the honor in front of the crowds with all the cheers to walk on to the very same podium that Alonso would be awarded his trophy for Toyota winning. Same podium. So that's really cool. Anyway, first place went to Veloce eSport, and I'm gonna have to put a shoe in my mouth on that one. Second place to Baguette Racing, I'm assuming out of France, and then third place was the Kitty Crew. Didn't see that one on the entry list of the qualified teams. I know they weren't one of the add-on teams late, but the results are in, and that the Veloce eSport team were the last team added. They are 2 of the given spots, the provisionals, the champions provisionals, so to speak. Anyway, those are the podium teams, and I just thought that was a really special moment. They have a little video here of the ceremony going on, and you'll find all of this. Here's a picture of the Veloce eSport team, and then that's David Kelly, James Baldwin, and Noah Schmitz, who are the 3 drivers. So there you go. There you go. Very, very cool. Wouldn't that be? Man, I'd be so honored. I'd be so honored to be up there. Oh, look at that. A McLaren. Interesting. Anyway, just daydreaming here, you guys. Okay, so now just another hot lap. Gran Turismo, talking about Circuit de Sarthe, one of the most important. Circuit de Sarthe, that's code for Le Mans. Just in case you didn't know, its other name is Circuit de Sarthe. Gran Turismo version, variety. And if you just want to see from another, this is Cody. Cody who? Do we get a last name? Nope. Have no fear, Cody is here. Not sure which Cody this would be, but one of the best. Cody Nicola. So one of the true eSport champions out of Gran Turismo, showing you the fast way around Le Mans, Circuit de Sarthe. What else? Thrustmaster is the official wheel of the Le Mans eSport series. So when those guys were driving, when they were doing their big racing, these are the wheels. It's basically a TSXW with a special cover. So no more that fancy red cover, but then it's getting sort of like a TSPC version of the wheel rim with a special branding for the event being the super final of the Le Mans eSports series. So cool branding, not available to the public, unfortunately, but for the most part, it's just some stickers and some special, but I like that. At least they look unique, and they're kind of honoring the sponsorship. I guess podcasts are the big deal now. I thought podcasts were kind of yesterday, so obviously me and Billy put out our podcast, which you'll find on SoundCloud of Beyond the Sim, and there's one other place, SoundCloud, and another popular place that I can't remember because my brain is mush, but McLaren is now starting their own podcast, and they're calling it the Shadowcast. So this is starting up, and it's going to keep you abreast of what's going on in various things McLaren and the McLaren Shadow project. And this weekend they revealed some tips to help conquer Forza Motorsport 7. So they're drawing on the McLaren drivers, I'm assuming, in order to give you some tips and help and things like that. So that could be cool moving down the future, and you'll have to check that out if you're into their news. Just more stuff to watch when you're at work. God forbid we'd work. Yeah, Mark showed me some pictures of some events. Mark, you know, I hope you don't mind me promoting you, but Mark Pogson. Mark, another one of these guys who's building elaborate sim rigs, building elaborate stages and competitive areas, and doing much like what I've done with CXE or VRX, but working parties, big events, trade shows, things like that, and having a fleet of sim rigs that he can, you know, brand for his customer and get them the most bang for the buck at the event. I mean, if you've not seen a traditional trade show, booth babes are something that were always part of trade shows, and they're like the Umbrella Girls in Formula One or MotoGP. And, you know, in 2019, the PC Babies, anybody watch South Park? The PC Babies have put a stop to all those shenanigans. But you want a booth babe. You know, you're trying to sell car polish. You want to know how you sell car polish? You put motion rigs, you put sim rigs, you put loud racing noises in your booth, and it will draw in the automotive culture. The guys will sniff it like sharks smelling blood and water, and they will come to your booth. So that's exactly what Mark does. And it was great talking to him about that because we both have lived that world. But anyway, McLaren Shadow starting up their Shadowcast. So keep that in mind. You got McLaren podcast, Shadowcast. You've got Beyond the Sim podcast. You can find that on SoundCloud. Used to be on iTunes. So whatever the new iTunes, I can't remember what they call it because I'm a Samsunger. Big Ben, this was just my reminder to tell you guys that I was going to do a Big Ben WRC first thoughts. Now, again, this is a work in progress, so before you get too excited about it, I can't capture footage. I can just film it like any other media guy. I wasn't going to cheat and do it after hours, which I could have done. I mean, I had unlimited access, but I kept my access limited to what is the same as anybody else was allowed. But I will have that coming out in the next few days, and you can look forward to that. So we will have my thoughts on Next Level Racing. They have some new products, some new rigs, some new wheel stands, and their new traction loss motion sim, which is really something. I'm also going to talk about WRC in a separate video, so both of those coming soon, also part of E3. Here is Next Level Racing. They're just showing off a little clip of what was going on. This is what their booth looked like at E3. And it was really fun hanging out with their guys. Just passionate about sim racing. And a whole crew of guys who are just, they're fun, they're into racing, they're glad to be there, and it was great. And I think that you know, Mark and Brendan and a few other sim racers, we all enjoyed getting over there, being able to talk to them and see their stuff and drive that incredible sim. What else? Radical. So Radical Sport Car teamed up with 21 Performance to offer the SR1 Cup competitors some special prizes at Brands Hatch. The Outright Rookie Cup and Fangio Trophy Race 2 winners will receive a test session in 21 Performance Radical SR1 simulator, complete with expert tuition and detailed data analysis. So that would be quite a ride. It looks like this is built on one of those traction loss type pro platforms, much like you'd see from McLaren. And if you look at the McLaren one was, you know, when I say traction loss, it's the ability of the rear end of the sim to move. And if you look at the McLaren simulator, there was a front and back bar that allowed the whole rig to twist and pitch. And in a very, very small way, that is what Next Level Racing accomplished. Anyway, I'm not sure about this, but the cool thing and another good partnership where the winning prize is something fun to do. I always like that. Sometimes you got to say that. I'd rather drive a Radical than a Radical Sim, I have to admit. But I'll take a Pro Sim drive anytime they're going to give it to me as well. VRZ, Virtual Racing Zone. I don't know anything about them, but this was sent in to me, and I can't resist pictures of golf racing stuff. I mean, I wonder why. Look at that. Look at that. How cool is that rig right there? That's a Porsche 917 cockpit simulator. I have to admit, if I didn't spend so much time on the show, I would spend time. I was on my way to building a rig this elaborate. I had a Star Mazda chassis, all the body work, and I was starting to add buttons and dials and other things to it. I had all my components mounted exactly where they belonged. The actual authentic racing seat that came with the car, which is nothing but a fiberglass sling. But I love these elaborate cockpits. You know, maybe functionally they're not as great as a perfectly built for ergonomic rig for racing at home. But for fun factor, man, it's got to get hot in that little box, though, wouldn't you think? Was that a G27 shifter? Yes, it sure was. Yucky, yucky, huh? Doesn't look like a G27 wheel, though. That's for sure. Anyway, cool rig. Good inspiration or motivation. I'm always talking about lemons, and I'm not the only one. GT Planet doing a write-up here, and you can read about it if you want to hear about their story. And I'm always going to encourage you guys, you know, we sim race because we can't afford to really race. That is the story. That is the truth. I would race every weekend if I could afford it, but I can't. I sim race every day because I can afford to do that. That is the bottom line. I love sim racing, but it is filling a void in my life, which is real life racing for sure. Team GT Planet plus Hoon Corp survived the 24 hours of Lemons, NZ, New Zealand. So what you have here is another group of sim racers banded together to create and start their own Lemons team. What do you need to be in a Lemons team? You need a piece of junk car. Look at these piece of junk cars. You need 3 or 4 friends. and a tiny budget, a place to keep the car, and you're racing. Me and some of the pit crew guys have been tossing the idea around of a community car. Well, not community, a pit crew, Simpit pit crew car. 3 or 4 of us in, splitting the expense. But great write-up. I would highly suggest you go check it out. And if you have always wanted to race and just, how am I going to do it? How am I going to do it? Go to a Lemons race, meet some teams, offer to help out, earn your way onto a ride. That's how you do it. You earn your way onto a ride. But cool write-up here at GT Planet, worth reading. A few more things to talk about, and then we'll bring this show to an end today. This is just for another Android game. So high-speed drag racing. So we've talked about drag racing. This is Top Speed 2 drag racing experience. Do I have a video? We don't have any video, unfortunately. Yeah, here we do. So there's an Android. I'm going to be on an airplane for a very long time. Wonder how long drag racing could entertain me. I need portable entertainment. Anybody with suggestions for the best portable entertainment to kill 14 hours of flying, please email me, shaun@thesimpit.com. Shaun@thesimpit.com. Your best mobile entertainment for being on an airplane. Got to kill 14 hours. So that's kind of cool for mobile fans. You can check that out on Google Play. Just another article from the same place mentioning WRC8. It's been approved by U.S. professional drivers Shaun Johnson and Alex Kurharani. Put that up real quick for Alex in case I murdered his name. Pretty sure I got Shaun Johnson's name. Solitaire. Oh, I don't know if I can do Solitaire. I did Solitaire for a lifetime, and now I'm over it. And I can't do Candy Crush, Free Cell, no. We can't do that, Tim. That's not going to work on an airplane. Motorsport Manager. I like that idea. I should probably check out that. Anyway, write up on why those guys are approving of WRC. Here's a E3 2018. That's not E3. That's not E3. That's not E3. Anyway, you can get their thoughts on that, but you'll get my very own thoughts this week as well. Another thing, just a few more, and then we'll be gone. Gaming Instincts, another write-up on Forza Horizon 4 E3 content from across the street, which I did not frequent, so I don't know what all was said. I heard rumors. Don't own a Kindle. I don't own a Kindle. Yeah, quite the mustache there. Netflix. Yep, I'll have some movies. I'll have some movies. Dave Blair, not going to have a girlfriend with me on this one. I don't think they're going to foot the bill for the extras. What else? There's a write-up at iRacing on the Porsche eSports Super Cup. So this has replaced the big boy. If you're out there wondering where are the Formula One cars that they used to call the top of the leaderboard in iRacing, well, it is now the Super Cup, the Porsche Super Cup. A lot of the same names are there with $100,000 on the line. Mid-season review from iRacing themselves. Upcoming stream Friday. Well, actually Saturday, I believe, is when they're going to stream the real. I say the real. The bigger race is Saturday morning. We're running the Friday night race because that's the one that worked better for our guys' schedule. Friday night, we'll be streaming our race. Saturday will be the main races, including the 6-hour the Glen broadcast, which you'll find on Race Spot for this upcoming race this weekend. And then lastly, let's finish with a couple of rigs. Here's a cool F1 GT just in the corner. You can see the VR. You gotta love VR rigs. How all of a sudden you don't have to accommodate a giant monitor stand. Pretty dedicated when you're all in on the VR, though. So there you go. There's one FGT Next Level Racing. Here we've got an old Obutto with a GT Ultimate back. Look at this. Look at this Frankenrig. This is quite a Frankenrig. Somewhere in here, he has some form of motion platform. I don't see it myself. Does he have the Next Level Racing or one of the other underneath seat shakers under this Kirky-looking seat? And then he's got a GT Ultimate back and an Obutto front with some kind of railing connecting them together. So I am going to applaud you being iPhoner, for what is a very impressive Frankenrig. I love it. Motorsport Manager 3. No, a cell phone cannot run iRacing. Cannot do that. I will not be able to race for the whole time I'm out of town. I'll give you a little update on that as well so you know the show schedule. And then one more. Here's just a full-blown, that top-of-the-line play seat. Not a huge play seat guy with the center post design, but when you get to this one, I gotta tell you, I'm a pretty big fan. So anyway, his first new cockpit, kind of all-in Thrustmaster gear, nice play seat rig, and a big monitor by Evolution IXMXer. What else? All right. So today we're going to make our announcement of the Simpit Make Fun of Shaun meme contest. Just one more time for posterity's sake, I am going to play the video. Incredible entries. I got to tell you, I'm really flattered by what you guys have done. It's been a really cool. This has been a year-long thing since about my last birthday that the guys have been kidding me with make fun of me. Usually it's some kind of comment or statement that leads to it. So it's referencing an inside joke in many cases. Some of them are just purely for fun. Some of them are maybe just to make some brutal fun of me. Yeah, Stand On It said it was the Joa competition. There were 3 people who really entered mainly. And so as the video plays, what I'm going to do is read off the votes. So there are a few that didn't get any votes, but just to actually, you know what? Let's stop the slideshow. Go back to the news real quick. All right. Getting 1 vote was Shaunica, me and Danica Patrick. Make It Fro also got 1 vote. The Napster, which this was not one of my favorites, by the way. This one offended me, guys. The Napster got a vote. Photobomb with Queen got a vote. GPL Shaun. Let's see, that's the black and white. I like this one. I thought this was really well done. GPL Shaun got a vote. And then lastly, and maybe my least favorite, was Grounded. Grounded for Life. Sean Cole. Thank you for that one, by the way. All getting 1 vote. Getting 2 votes was Sean Picard, the opposite of Make It Fro. Just the straightforward Jean-Luc Picard. And then finally, Everything Is Possible. Another good GPL one. I like that. I thought it was flipping me off at first. This is me at Kyalami. Getting 4 votes. One of my personal favorites. And I actually was rooting for this one in the voting. Because I wanted the t-shirt. But it was Star Wars. Sim Wars. May the Force feedback be with you. One of my favorites. I might print that shirt anyway. I love it so much. Finally, Sean Letterman getting 5 votes. We got Sean Letterman right here. Big-headed Sean Letterman. EFF. F. Silverstone. Another one of my favorites right here. Where's Gangster Sean? There we go. This was one of my favorite. 5 votes. Getting 6 votes was the box cover, the Formula 1 box art. And along with that, me and my bandmates of the Sim DMC, that would be none other than John Hill and Billy Strange for Sim DMC, getting 6 votes. Moving up to 7 votes was Game Enough. This was kind of funny. Where's Game Enough? This one was pretty funny right here. Game Enough. And then Grand Theft Psycho Shaun Auto. And again, some of these were inside jokes because way back when I did a stream showing how psycho I get playing Grand Theft. And then finally getting 9 votes was the Sean Ross. Where's Sean Ross? My eyes. There we go. And another Danica inside joke. Very well done. I saw a real picture of Sean Ross. Where that box, why is that not showing up? Why is that not on my E3 photos? Shoot, I had a Sean Ross box and it showed how much I could be his twin brother. And now we're getting down to the final 3. So this is the nitty gritty. These are the 3 top vote getters, and coming in 3rd place, nope. Coming in 3rd place was Die Hard. F you Windows, F you to hell. That was another one of my mental breakdowns. Another one of them that could have been, I mean, that looks real. Well done. And then coming in second place, another one of my favorites, the Sim Father. I have to say that is flattering in so many ways. I've enjoyed the humorous aspect of all of these. What I really enjoyed about this one was the fact that it gave me credit for being the Sim Father. So thank you for that as well. And our winning entry, and again, the winning entry is going to get a complete Simpit care package, Simpit mug, Simpit t-shirt, Simpit mouse, Simpit hat, Simpit sticker, and the pride of knowing that I'm going to be forced to wear this shirt for the entire month as soon as I get it. 30 days in this shirt. And top vote getting 25 votes was Cole Trickle. So that is the Simpit meme contest. Joa Antonio was one of the top artists, and a lot of these, honestly, as Stan put it, it was almost, to an extent, it was almost the Joa contest. Joa, thank you for making me laugh all year long. Thank you, everybody, for all of your entries. Every single one of them made me laugh. Some of them made me cry. Some of them made me laugh. But most importantly, they were all fun, and I had a blast doing the whole thing. Joa, I'll talk to you about getting your address, getting your care package, and I will maybe be sending this image in and wearing that shirt for an entire month, which should be pretty funny. Anyway, thank you all for being here. Sorry for the last minute notice on the Monday night show. I just wanted to get back on the air, and I couldn't do it this morning. We will be here Wednesday morning with the Pit Stop. We will be here Friday morning with a Beyond the Sim. And then next week, I should be on the air Monday and Wednesday, but then I am going to be gone for almost 2 weeks. I leave town on the 27th, and I am officially going to London. And anyway, that should be a blast as well. That is, if they'll have me. Thanks for being here. Thank you for being part of the Pit Crew. Be sure to thumbs up, subscribe, tell a friend what we're doing so we can continue to grow. This is the Simpit. I'm Shaun Cole, and I'll see you on the track.